The real definition of introvert extrovert, you never want to be an introvert. Introvert is essentially a fucktard. I think, in 2 years, AI will probably be 1,000 times smarter. I use it more than probably any human on earth. If you start talking to ChatGPT, watch.
Extroverts are energized by interacting with the external environment.
Anyway, you can sit here. Yeah, well, it's not quite there. It's
Ty Lopez got brutally fact-checked and exposed by AI live on the Max Tornow podcast, and we're gonna look at the whole clip and see what happened. By the way, if you like guys like Ty Lopez and Max Tornow and maybe you're interested in AI, then watch all the other videos on my channel. It's all about that AI for your coaching, consulting, or agency business. If you find none of the videos valuable, then don't subscribe. Let's look at Ty Lopez and Max Tornow now.
So if you're super introverted, you can build faceless brands, but I'm an extrovert like my dad, so.
By the way, just for context, they started talking about building faceless brands or personal brands, whether you're an introvert, an extrovert, and this is where it's getting interesting.
I'm not afraid to get my face out there. You're an extrovert.
I'm an introvert, actually.
Yeah, but you're... We have to have a talk. We have to have a talk about this. I have my own unpopular
I can make it
decision.
seem like I'm an extrovert, but I love being alone. Like this whole idea of being in a spaceship alone for a year, I'm like, that's the best thing I could think of.
Well,
for those of you that don't know who Max Tornow is, the guy on the right, he used to be a dating coach, so he knows all about social dynamics and he knows his stuff, okay? Now he's doing business. And Ty Lopez is about to correct him.
Here's my thing. Okay, first off, people don't realize the word introvert extrovert is a very new word. It was coined by Carl Jung. He was still alive in the 1950s. Carl Jung coined the term introvert extrovert. Now, his definition, the OG, the man who invented it, you don't want to be an introvert.
Okay, this is where Ty starts yapping.
To him, an introvert is essentially a fucktard.
That's pretty harsh.
Pardon my French. Okay. So, as a narcissist. Because he wrote a book, I keep it on my phone, it's a textbook essentially, it's called On Personality by Carl Jung. His definition of an introvert versus extrovert is an extrovert seeks the outer world to find truth. An introvert tries to go within. And he says, basically, you can't do that.
Okay, so this is not complete BS, but this is not the definition of extrovert introvert.
The real definition of introvert extrovert, you never want to be an introvert. Now, the modern world has changed and tweaked it into this more outgoing versus shy. But if we use Carl Jung, who I think we should use his way because he invented the word.
Okay, so here I'm gonna skip because they start talking about all sorts of stuff and then they end up talking about AI. So let's skip to that part.
And soon it's going to be wealth created by things that have no age because they're not human. AI.
Yeah.
You're going to have because AI can essentially live forever. So you're going to be competing not just with 16-year-olds that know how to make money. You're going to be competing with infinite AI. That's why I said you got two choices. Build an AI business or build a personal brand. That's about the only things that are going to last.
By the way, a lot of the things that Ty Lopez is saying are banger and value bombs, okay? But he got the definition of Carl Jung, extrovert, introvert, wrong, and he's about to get exposed by AI itself.
Or you combine them. You have AI.
Well, you can use AI help you, but you lead it with personal brand or you lead it with AI because, it's a big deal. I think, in 2 years, AI will probably be 1,000 times smarter than Albert Einstein.
It's going so fast.
It's crazy.
I
use it more than probably any human on earth already. I call it the instantly.
Okay, he starts bragging. Classic Ty Lopez.
20 IQ points higher. People don't realize if you start talking to ChatGPT, watch, let's see. So we're talking about social dynamics, and I was talking about Carl Jung's original definition of introversion versus extroversion.
Let's get back to social dynamics.
Lol, little misfire.
Okay, stop interrupting me. Hold on for a second. So we're talking about Carl Jung's different understanding of introversion versus extroversion, where basically extroverts see the world. They explore the world through external, and introverts try to understand it internally. And my hypothesis is a lot of what we call introversion now is just social anxiety and fear. So it says.
Carl Jung's concept of introversion and extroversion does indeed focus on where individuals primarily draw their energy and how they engage with the world. Extroverts are energized by interacting with the external environment.
Anyway, you can sit here. I told
He just realized that his definition that he gave earlier was completely wrong, and the real definition is different. And I actually asked ChatGPT, and by the way, this is what it was about to start explaining. Extrovert is someone, here's the short definition. So an extrovert is someone who is energized by external interactions and activities, while an introvert is someone who is energized by solitary reflection, internal contemplation. So extrovert and introvert means where do you get your energy from? From other people, hanging out with them, or being at home alone? And not what Ty Lopez said, which is you're basically a fucktard.
introvert is essentially a fucktard.
So let's listen again what ChatGPT was about to start explaining, and you will see that it's exactly the same definition.
Carl Jung's concept of introversion and extroversion does indeed focus on where individuals primarily draw their energy and how they engage with the world. Extroverts are energized by interacting with the external environment.
Anyway,
And listen what he says next.
but you can sit here. I told
You can have him do the whole podcast.
Yeah. Well, it's not quite there. It's but I'll tell you.
It's not quite there yet. Brutally fact check. All right, guys, that's all it is for today's video. I think it was really funny. This is not like the kind of videos I normally do, but if you like using AI for your coaching, consulting, or agency business, or set up automations that are gonna make your life easier, then check out my other videos. If you find value in none of them, then please don't subscribe, and see you guys, or don't see you guys in the next one.